I'm Kathryn and welcome to Book Dissect, where I take the best and worst from books to help you be a better writer. This month, I'm dissecting Penelope Kein, A Glint of Shadowynne. I found Penelope in one of my writing groups and she was looking for reviews and offered a free book for an honest review. I like free stuff, and oh my gosh, I really like this book. So it pays to interact with people online. We're gonna start with the bad. The writing skill is just a tiny bit weak. And the way that I think I can adequately explain it, it's sort of the difference between store-bought and homemade. You know, homemade is always better, but it's not going to have the same visual presentation as store-bought. And that's how I sort of feel about this book. And as you can see, I have like a list of notes here of things that I found from page 1 that there aren't things that aren't grammatically correct. It's just the way that they're written aren't in the most engaging way possible. It's written in the way that we speak. There were some filler things that at the very least I would have cut those just to make it a bit more engaging and snapping writing-wise. But I sort of forgot all of that after the first page because I got hooked. Because when I read my books, I'm looking for problems. Sometimes though, the book just hooks me in and I forget that I'm not reading for enjoyment, I'm reading to make a video. And that's what happened with this book. Because I started it off and I thought, uh-oh, this person didn't have a copy editor. And then the character is running in the woods and being shot at, and I'm rolling my eyes because it's so cliche and I think it's gonna go in this direction. And then it went in this direction. I was like, oh, that's very creative. And I kept reading, and every single time that I thought something was cliche and was going to go in this direction, it went in the opposite direction. And so reading it, I was kept on my toes. This book made me make bad life choices because I started reading it at around 8 o'clock in the evening, and I only planned to read a couple chapters, but I stayed up really late so that I could finish the book. And by the end of the book, I know that the author is writing a second book and that it should be coming out soonish, like October, November. I was like, I need the second book. And I thought, I don't think she's finished it yet. And I want the second book. I want to know what happens next with these characters. Oh my goodness. It was a really good book. And I think this is a perfect example for authors out there who have stories to tell, but maybe their writing skills aren't at the level where they want them to be. And I know that there will be individuals out there who will tell you, well, you can't publish your book unless you're a perfect writer. But that doesn't exist. I mean, even if and when you improve your writing skills, there are going to be people who tell you that your writing is crap. I mean, even here, I'm saying that the writing skill, at least for me, could have been better, but when I think back on it, sometimes it's sort of subjective because I know that this sort of writing style, while it's not the accepted writing style for like traditional publishing, this has become really popular within the indie industry. So maybe I'm just full of crap, who knows? This is the perfect example of writing a story and profiting from it and doing what you love, because you're going to find an audience. You just need to be able to market it and find the people who want to read this story. Because that's the second point that I really liked about this book, is that this is a story that I wanted. I didn't know it when I went into it, but this is the type of story that I love to read. As an example, this is a paranormal reverse harem, and if you read any reverse harems, most of the time it's insta-love, it's a fast burn, and that's great. I'm somebody that really appreciates internal struggle with a tiny bit of realism. Not a whole lot, but just a tiny bit, and that book had this. Potential spoiler. The main character eventually finds out that she is mated with 3 different men. And for her, that's problematic because, you know what? We live in a society where love is supposed to be between 2 people. I really enjoyed that struggle because for me, it was realistic. I really like this book. The only thing that I was really disappointed in is that the second book isn't done yet. Hopefully it's done now. I don't know. If it is, I will leave more information about that in my blog. It's such a good book. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. The algorithm doesn't care as long as you interact with my videos. If you're interested in this book, I will leave a link in the description below where you can find it. I would highly recommend it. I'm probably a little bit biased, but I did enjoy the book. Also, my social links have been left in the description below, and be sure to check out my blog because I will be continuing the conversation and review there. Leave me your comments. I love hearing from you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tootsies, my applezines. When I started this book, I finished it after midnight, and I was so overwhelmed by how much I loved the book that I thought I have to tell the author. She's stateside, so she responded back, and I had the most amazing conversation with her, and the only downside is that I stayed up till like 1:30 in the morning, and so I stayed up too late.